they were laughing at him at first, and then like everybody joined in, and he became the leader of this
Wow.
crazy weird dance. So it's very interesting what people perceive as leadership or fellowship.
Exactly. No, that's a really good point. Catherine's just said, yeah, I agree. We all probably a mixture of both. Better not to put ourselves in boxes. That's true. That's true. Thanks, thanks, Catherine.
Yeah, yeah.
But oh, I think who makes the best follower, who becomes the best leader? Oh, what do you think about that? Hi, Nora. Who makes the best follower
Hmm.
become leader? Do you think? What do you think about that, Lama? Hmm.
Um,
Who makes the best follower becomes the best leader?
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's very
funny.
subjective, I guess.
Yeah,
It's again, I when I thought about your question, I thought like, what does Jasmine exactly mean? Is it like
yeah.
leadership in where exactly? Because we have different kinds of leadership, and being also CTI trained leader as well. I'm on CTI leadership program,
Oh,
and
oh,
I totally recommend it. I'm doing free CTI endorsement. But you get to learn a little bit about different kinds of leadership, and of course leading yourself, and then leading with other people, or leading sometimes from the field. Like there is so many incidents where, especially now these days with the COVID and the lockdown, and how people are showing up, and I think we all one way or another had to lead somehow during this lockdown period, and be our own leaders and leaders of our smaller communities or smaller families. So I think we all have a chance to be a leader at some point, and there is no harm in being a follower. It's, again, I go back to the association with the term that um, being a follower will not diminish you, or will not make you any less of a person, or a creative person or something. But it's just knowing why you're leading or why you're following is it's about, okay, if this trend or if this leader is taking me somewhere where I can fulfill my goals, or live happier, or understand myself better, yeah, of course I'm happy to follow. And maybe then I will I don't know, surpass them, or
find
go
your way.
ahead, or just stop somewhere where it's good for me and they continue. So it's about, yeah, where are you leading yourself? What do you want from this leader? And this is how I see it, and this is why I see it's okay if I one day I'm a follower and one day I'm a leader. It's all very subjective.
Wow. And I guess like what you're saying as well, to be being conscious, like when you're conscious of what you're doing. Hi, goodness. Hi. When you're conscious of what you're doing, then you're a leader. Is that what you mean as well? Or being a leader, you need to be.
Um, it's being a leader or being a follower.
Ah, both. Or
It's,
you ask.
of course, you have to be aware most of the times, unless you're leading somebody who's doing different stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But
But sometimes, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But
Sorry, go ahead. I think
no.
there's some echo happening, but yeah.
Sometimes, like for me, I guess, yeah, what is your definition of a leader and a follower? And for me, like for me, my definition of a leader is somebody who is conscious of what they're doing, and then they make the decision, either
Hmm.
just to lead themselves, even just leading themselves. And like a follower for me is somebody, I don't know if there's, now I'm saying it, I don't even know, I think I might have even changed my mind, but it seems like a follower is somebody who's not conscious, and somebody who just aimlessly, blindly follows somebody and doesn't really question anything, just goes along and doesn't really know
Mm.
where they're going.
Um, yes, there is some
Yeah.
truth to that, and I want to add that sometimes you follow people because you you want them to show you a better option or a better life or better opportunities, and to some place that you've never been before. So it's not following for me. It's not always going behind that person aimlessly or blindly or okay, I'm trusting you 100%. It's a 50-50 balance, because even as a leader, I want also to take care of my followers and see what's happening with them. Are they learning? Where am I leading them to? And what impact am I having on them? And I want them to be full leaders at some point, to lead other people as well. So it's again, it's all about why you're following. What's the essence of your leadership or your fellowship? That's for me what makes it impactful or good for you or bad for you, in a sense, in very simplistic terms. So again, like Catherine is saying, yeah, then I'm definitely a follower, as I thought.
Yeah. There was a comment before. Oh my God. It's something about if you can't. Oh, you can. It's good. Oh, sorry, we didn't see the comment. The one before. Oh, you meant to say not a follower.
There is a follower could be a leader as well when consciously choosing to follow. Yeah, of course. I totally agree.
Themselves, but they're following somebody else. Yeah. So you can actually be a leader and a follower at exactly the same time.
I think it comes. It all boils down to what good this leadership is doing, in a sense that it doesn't have to have it shouldn't have judgment. It shouldn't be judgment based. It shouldn't be evil or it should, like we all know some leaders, whether not just even when we say leaders, people might think politics, but it's even at home, even in companies, even in the streets. And like, let's say if you see somebody who just throws rubbish on the road, like, and I had this this example so many times in my life that's why it stuck to my head. So I would go and ask this person not to throw rubbish in the street, for instance. So really? For me, I think I'm a leader in the sense that, okay, I'm setting an example. I'm taking action. I'm not just sitting and giving theories about leadership. So leadership is also taking charge and being responsible for what the world around you, like, because everybody's responsible, and we're all responsible for our world, our life first, and then the world outside. So if I see somebody throwing garbage on the street, and I'm just, oh no, this shouldn't happen, but I don't take any action, I wouldn't. This is not leadership, but leadership is if I go and take action and tell this person, like, you shouldn't be doing this, or at least remove the garbage from the street. That's just a very, very loose example, maybe, but that's the difference of being like impactful leadership, and that deserves people to follow, and then not just follow like sheep, which you put the, but even the sheep, we're being a bit hard on the sheep, because the sheep, they will only follow certain shepherds, like they know that this is for their protection, for the safety of their community, so that no outside forces can get in. So
it's ironic. Yeah, sheep are not stupid. They're very intelligent animals, and they're not actually followers, are they? In fact, I need to look and find out there. Yeah. But most people think they are, don't they? Most people think, when you think of a sheep, you think of a follower, but it's not you. But you're absolutely right.
It's again the associations, and so even when you say like leading by example, I mean, this is a very small phrase, but when you think about it, it's not being a leader in a very high fancy place or position or with power. It's just setting an example. Like, if you see me worried about the garbage on the street, I might impact you, and then you would say, oh, okay, I'm going to help her, or I'm going to do this next time I see somebody throwing garbage on the street. So it's, maybe I impacted you without me knowing. And then you followed my lead, or you followed my example. So it's very, again, it's very broad subject, but it can be very precise in certain areas. So again, I just think it's all about how you conceive yourself, and how personally it's a language thing for me. I have a background in translation and content creation and all that, and words are very important for me. So I choose my words very carefully, because it's also, you can impact people with just your words, and this is also very powerful. Yes, of course, both of them, in a positive and negative way. And, it's something like we were discussing the other day. Remember, you and I, about the COVID, and people's expectations from before and after, and the normal and the new normal, and all these terminologies that people fall in love with, and then people follow blindly sometimes. Now, this is something that makes me very it ticks me a bit.
Yes.
That new normal. Okay, what is new normal?
Exactly. What was the
if it's normal, it's not new. Once it becomes normal, it stops being new. It's just old because you've done it before.
The whole contradiction.
And it's the judgments as well we make on others. And you remember with the I think we talked about, sorry,
this was really interesting what you were saying about the judgment. Tell us again.
No, it was about how people are judging each other. I read few posts that were really very upsetting for me, about that if people were like COVID is the time, or the lockdown, or all this is happening, that now is the time for people to know who their real friends are. If somebody doesn't check up on you for the past 3 months, then they don't deserve to be in your life. Or like, if you don't come out from this lockdown with a skill, or with a talent, or you've learned something new, then basically they're saying then you're a failure because you did not organize your time, or you lack the time or the organizing skill. And I just see this is full of judgment and bias and uncalled for criticism, because this is a period of time where nobody was trained for. So when they're saying the new normal, it's not new normal, it's just new. Stop desensitizing the things we're going through. It's something we didn't get any training for that. We used to see it maybe in movies, and we used to laugh at it at movies and say, oh, ridiculous, it's just a film, it's just cinema. And we didn't even think for once that we'll be going through this with homeschooling, or working from home, or exercising from home, or cooking nonstop for some families, or taking care of kids and the family, and the husbands and wives and partners. And it's not the time to tell me how to live my life, because this is an emergency situation I was not trained for. So I am the only person qualified to lead my life at this stage.
Yes.
And I don't have to follow you. You don't have to follow me. Like, in this moment in time, we all have our lives to lead. So without judgments, if I don't want to learn any skill, it's my decision. If I don't want to make contact with anybody, it's my decision. If I don't want to read, or I don't know, create something, it's my decision. And if I want to create and learn a language, or I don't know, contact everybody on the planet and organize webinars or Zoom meetings, then again, it's my decision. But don't judge me if I go either way. This is how I want to lead my life at this stage.
Wow.
And I see like lots of comments coming.
I can't see the first comment. Can you see it?
I think we have a comment from Hafia.
Yeah.
Sorry, I might pronounce some names wrong, but it says, since human nature is never perfect, I
No,
think we both fall over the both, but it's being relentless, authentic, and clearly
clear community.
communicator that will enhance the dimension of leadership in you.
I guess
So,
quality.
yes,
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, thank you very much for that comment. Yeah, but I think what you said, and when you told me that the other day, because when people were saying, oh, yeah, maybe you should do this or you should do that, or people should be doing this, I didn't think about it. It was annoying me, but I didn't think, I couldn't figure
yeah,
out what. And then when you said, it's people judging, it's judging. And I was like, oh my God, that's why it was, I didn't like it because, yeah, we don't need anyone telling us what to do. You know, and like you said, none of us
exactly.
are experts with this. None of us know better how to deal with the situation, and only we can deal with it how we deal with it ourselves. You know, we know best for ourselves. I mean, nobody knows better than us, do they?
Exactly. And to be honest, this should be the case all the time, with or without COVID. So
Yes,
you don't get to judge me after COVID ends or
yeah,
after the lockdown ends. So
totally.
it's and again with this, you are also being a leader because um, you're showing up as who you want to be or how you want to live your life, and people might feel influenced by you. Like, wow, I like how she's leading her life. I might learn from her something. So
Exactly. And
again,
yeah, and it's your decision. And if you make the
yeah,
decision to do it, you're much more likely to do something, aren't you? If somebody tells you what to do, I mean, if anyone tells me what to do, I don't want to do it at all just because they've told me to do it. You know,
yeah,
I don't think we grow and flourish when people tell us what to do and impose their beliefs and solutions on us. That just, yeah, exactly. You're right. You're right. Um, it's about leading ourselves, isn't it? But like you said, yeah, not just with COVID, anytime. Let people
yeah,
be
of course.
themselves. Let them choose how they want to live their lives. Let them lead their lives. As long as nobody's hurting anybody.
Yeah, of course. And it's also about where you are in a certain stage of your life. Like we all we've all been in places where we wanted somebody to lead us. We wanted somebody to take us by the hand and show us the way, and it's
Wow.
fine. And then we do for others what this person did for us, and it's a chain. And it's a beautiful work when it's done without judgment, without expectations of something in return other than your growth, for instance. Or so it's. I have lots of teachers who influenced me in my life, friends, family who helped me in hard times or even in good times. It's like they showed me better way of doing things.
Wow.
So again, being a leader or a follower is not a judgment, and it's not labeling people. Like, it's not a labeling system. We
Yeah.
can it's so beautiful and so flexible that you could get to be both of them one day or the other, and that's the beauty of leadership and fellowship, if you understand it in this way. So it's
Yeah. Well, yeah.
it's good to be a leader one day, and it's good to follow somebody because you like the idea. I think the problem with following is people think that, like you said, the following blindly and just not looking or not discussing or not arguing or not negotiating. No, it doesn't have to be either or. Like, I can still follow you as a leader, but I can still have a conversation with you and point out things that may be not working, or suggest ways to improve it. So, and that is actually a compliment to the leader because they're allowing this to happen. And that's when you develop and grow as a follower, and then hopefully, potentially become a leader. So, I
The
don't know.
secure.
It's just for me that the terms are very, very flexible and free.
You're right. You're right. You're right. And I think if you're secure in yourself as a leader, then you're happy to let the followers have their say and collaborate together. Like you said, it's a collaboration.
Yeah.
We've got a question here then. Do you guys think being a follower or a leader is natural? Oh, that's a good question. Natural. Natural.
Yeah, I think it's natural in the sense that we're both born leaders. We're all born leaders, and both actually.
Are we? We're born leaders.
Oh. Yes, well, I think we're all born leaders, but again, I wonder what words the early people used instead of leader and follower. Because I'm sure like the name or the labeling changed throughout the years. But yes, we are leaders in who we want to be or how we want our lives to be. But equally, it's natural to follow in some of the footsteps of people who were before us. Like, it's exactly like raising a kid, and the kid is obviously following you in certain parts as an adult, but you notice that kids have their own independent existence, and they, from an early age, they can express what they like, what they don't like, what food they like, what food they don't like, what activity they prefer, whether it's reading or football or drawing, and you cannot force that on them. So they are basically, even as very little kids, are leading their lives, leading their passion, leading their fulfilling existence in that sense. But they can also look at you and see what you're doing and try to get what suits them in that whole system. So similarly, on a larger scale, like if I see a famous, I don't know, leader, and I like their style, what harm would it do if I follow some of their techniques? Or I mean, the whole industry of self-help books, it's all about leadership and followership. Because there is a guy or a woman or an organization who created this theory that they think it will help you develop. And there you are, you go and buy the book and you read it and you start applying it to your life. And suddenly you feel more empowered to lead on certain areas or do more things, or just show up differently altogether as a human being. So this person or this entity, they in part led your life to a certain destination, and their role might end there, and then you might be a leader for other people now in the field, or you might follow a different leader now because your needs have changed. So it's all about where you are at this stage in your life and what you want to accomplish as well. That reflects on who you follow as well.
Choice. It's all about choice.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And what, like, if I had to ask you, like, what are your top 3 qualities of a leader? What would you say?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Well, for me, empathy has to come at number 1. Empathy and compassion. I see them very interlinked. Sympathy and compassion. Empathy and compassion. Because
I like empathy, yeah.
You might find great leaders who are not empathetic, but I think more of the impact I want to leave as a leader, not just for me. I want to leave behind empathetic people, or around, not just always behind. The followers could be around me, could be in front of me sometimes, and I'm in the middle. So I always, personally, I always care about my legacy, and I care about my impact, because yes, maybe I would get a chance to be a great leader or a super leader or a strong leader or a forceful or a powerful leader, you know, whatever qualities we sometimes associate with leaders. But I want the people, because I am aware of the people who are following me, I want to make sure that I leave a good legacy of empathy and compassion and kindness, because this is what we need in our world today more than power and strength. I'm not saying we don't need that, but there's plenty of that already. We need
Yeah.
more kindness. We need more power, power of compassion and empathy. And if some people would see it as a vulnerability, then it's fine. We are vulnerable as human beings. And look what Corona did for us, this COVID-19. It's just showing us how vulnerable and frail we are. Like, we literally reached a standstill all across the globe. If this is not showing you how vulnerable you are, then nothing else will.
That's
But
amazing.
if you look at what matters in all this time was compassion and empathy and kindness to one another. It didn't matter how strong you are. It didn't matter what titles you have. It didn't matter how much money you own. All that mattered in that time, maybe for us 3 months, for other people 2 or 1 or whatever, was the amount of kindness and empathy and compassion we need to show for one another, because this is the legacy that will create a human continuity, or the value of humanity. This is what we need to encourage and what we need to work on. And if you go back and see social media the past 3 months, it's all about stories about affection and kindness and how people are supporting each other, supporting the frontliners, the medical staff, supporting the neighbors, doing things for each other even though you don't know them. These are the stories that I really saw happening across the world, and that really connected and inspired me. Not stories of you know, how much money or how much power or how much celebrity I have or how much. So for me, most important thing for a leader is compassion and kindness. That's trait number 1. Let's think.
True. It's about the legacy we create today. Yeah, no, that's a great number 1. And actually, when I think of the qualities, I never think of empathy, but you're right. After hearing you say that, empathy, it has to be number 1, doesn't it? You have to relate with others and feel with them. Yeah. What's your number 2?
Yeah. And just be one of them as well. It's like nobody likes a leader who.
Hi, Sam.
I would risk and say this statement: nobody likes a leader who sits way up high and not connected to the people or to to the team or the company, or like they think I'm better than just because I'm a leader. So I think those leaders are just transitionary or like they don't last, or they don't leave a legacy behind, at least.
Yeah.
The second quality, I think, of course, you have to be smart, and you have this emotional intelligence, which I think it comes more a little bit with empathy. But yes, being smart and clever is really, and intuitive is really very important for being a leader, you know, to sense the field, see what's needed. So yeah, being smart is also very, very important. And for me, number 3 as well, I'm a little bit, I know a sense of responsibility has to come with every leader. I hope so, but it's more of a responsibility of yourself, like ownership of who you are, and being connected to yourself as well. Because if I want to impact others and give them a certain message, or change their life or transform their life in one way or another, I should be in a place able to impart this wisdom. And I can only do that if I'm reconciled with who I am. I'm responsible for what I do, for my actions. I'm not too scared or squeamish about saying I failed or it didn't work this time, let's try again. So it's this taking responsibility and taking charge of your own life and not be afraid of showing up for who you really are. So this for me is very, very important for a leader. And it maybe touches on the line of leading by example. Like if I don't want people to make mistakes, I shouldn't be making mistakes. But we all know that this is nearly impossible. So no, if I make a mistake, I take ownership. I see what we can change and then move forward. It's not like no, leaders don't make mistakes or leaders should not fail or leaders have a squeaky clean life. It doesn't work that way. So, but I need to be responsible for my life and for my decisions and have this impact on others to also transfer this sense of responsibility to them, so they are also responsible for their lives and choices.
Yeah, I love that. Authenticity. I love that. Being real. Don't pretend to be someone you're not.
Yeah. Of course. You'll soon be found out.
Yeah.
You'll soon be exposed.
And like they say in coaching, don't they? Which I love. Mistakes are celebrations, or failures are celebrations, or something. Celebrate your failures. Yeah, I absolutely love that, because then it just allows you to make mistakes, learn from them, and grow. Welcome to Alba Coaching and Juan. Yeah, so no, I think they're great qualities. They're great qualities. And does anybody else, what are your qualities? It would be great if you could write them in the chat. Your top 3 qualities of being a leader. Because we all have different ones.
Talking about failure, I also have a problem with the association we have with the word as well.
Oh,
you know, my linguistic mind. Because we growing up and maybe being in this society, and by this society I mean like as a global citizen, we tend to put so much weight and emphasis on what is success and what is failure, and it's kind of become a defining quality for a person's achievement, that you failed or you succeeded. And it's like if you fail, then you're an outcast. And if you succeed, everybody wants a piece of it or wants to know how you succeeded. But nobody wants to know how you failed. So it's also the association we have with the words that bothers me sometimes. And we all forget that all of us, we failed when we were kids. It's like when we didn't know how to talk, and we didn't know how to eat, and we didn't know how to walk, and we had to fail and fail and fail until like we became able to read and write and hold our fork and knife and sing, and like all of us used to sing, you know, you slurp the words and just, you know, sing horrible words and mess up the words together, and but then bit by bit we learned.
Exactly.
Yeah, we still mess up with these things sometimes. So if it weren't for that, we wouldn't be the adults we are today. It's because we failed so many times that we learned to run or ride a bicycle or learn how to drive a car. So it's, again, failure and success, like fellow followers and leaders, it's all about the association we give to them. If failing is celebrated, like you said earlier on, you will find more people failing, but also more people succeeding as well, because it's the failure that we all know. If you fail something, you learn, and then not to make the mistake again, or do it, change the way or style. So we all know how important failure is, but nobody's willing to admit that they failed.
Yeah, you never lose when you fail. You always gain something. Knowledge or like experience or something. And sorry, now we're
I know
the 3 qualities: empathy.
So we have being with Najwa. She said, hi Najwa. Did authenticity. empathy, and love.
Wow, amazing, amazing qualities. And how I'm not good at pronouncing these words, I have to say, the names. I totally agree with you guys. My top three qualities include authentic, relentless, resilient, and compassion. Wow, yes. I love resilient. I like that one. Being able to bounce back. Well, as my friend said, bounce forward. My friend Amanda, yeah. What was I going...
I think his name is Hafid, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, Hafid. Yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah, no, thank you so much. I was going to say something and I've completely forgotten. About the quality. Oh yeah, no. One of my favorite qualities as well is courage. What do you think about courage? For me, it's like you can know all of these things in your mind, can't you? Maybe you know what to do or sense what to do. It's clear in your mind. You've got clarity. You've got the knowledge. But if you're not brave enough to listen to yourself, you might even have the intuition, like you have everything you need, but if you're not brave enough to take that step and go it alone, maybe, then, well, like you said before about action, take action, but being brave as well, like having the courage to do something new or try something that you don't know if you'll succeed or not, you know. Yeah, so I think courage.
So what are your top three qualities for a leader?
I think courage would have to be number one for me. Courage, because if for me, if I haven't got courage, then I feel like I haven't got anything.
Jasmine, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
What happened?
Hi. Sorry, I think it's breaking up a little bit. So I don't know if you heard my question.
Yeah,
I was asking you what your top three qualities for a leader.
Top three qualities. Being courageous. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Lama? Yeah. I don't know if you can hear me. Oh,
yeah,
right, okay.
But it's breaking up. It's breaking up a bit.
Okay. Oh, how annoying. Right, we haven't got much time anyway. Yeah, so being courageous, because for me, I think, what's the point of having all the other things? Oh, she's gone. She's gone. Oh dear, she's actually gone. Well, I'll tell you guys then if you're still there. Courage. I think for me, courage. Because if you're not brave enough to do the things or take the step, then what's the point? You're going to be stuck. Resilience. Oh, she's back. She's back. Okay. Resilience. And hi, whoever's joining. Hello, hello, hello. By the time she comes back in, it will probably be time up anyway. Yeah. Oh, there you are. You're back.
Is it better now? I think it got disconnected. Yeah. Yeah, it got disconnected.
So, courage, resilience. Yeah? Can you hear me? Courage, resilience, and authenticity are my top three.
No, very hardly. Courage and?
Courage, resilience. When you get knocked down, you need to get back up a billion times.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good combination.
Resilience and...
Do you think you can find these qualities in yourself?
Authenticity, yeah. Being authentic is another one. If you're not real, then your life isn't real. And if it's not real, what's the point of that as well? You know,
wow.
I know that sounds quite simple, but
yeah,
it is quite simple, really, for me. You know, for me. Yeah, courage, authenticity, and resilience.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is simple. But what about the others? whoever's with us, what are your qualities or questions before? We don't have much time. We've got about 5 minutes before the time runs out. Does anybody have any questions before? I think Lama's. If not, then I think we will just end it. Yeah, she's gone. Okay, anybody have any questions before we go? We've got a few minutes about being a leader or a follower. Any comments that you're dying to share with us? Tell us now before we go. Hi, yeah, oh my God. I think we're just about to sign out now. Let me see if Lama's coming back. I think that's it now for today. But thank you, everybody. And I hope you enjoyed this conversation, free flow. It was great. We loved your comments and questions. And I will see you next Sunday. Come next Sunday. Okay, take care, everybody. Oh, we're going now. Sorry about that. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, bye. Bye-bye.